What is up, YouTube? I'm Rob from RP Model Railroads. And in this video, we're going to be working on this old TYCO Piggyback loader and unloader accessory that I plan on putting on my layout, the Ephrata Valley Railroad. Make a long story short, I recently bought this thing off eBay, and supposedly it was tested, and it does work, and the forklift moves in and out, but the actual forks themselves do not go up or down. So we're going to try to figure out how to fix it in this video. I've never worked on one of these TYCO Piggyback loader unloader accessories. I have worked on the TYCO Freight Unloading Depot. In fact, the one on my layout, which I called Roland Z Culvert Pipe Company, I totally repainted that and did a whole bunch of work to it, but mechanically I had to fix it because everything was seized. From old lubricant, nothing was working. And the main gear attached to the motor popped off when I tried to power it up, so I had to fix that up. So I figure if I can fix that, I can probably fix this. So before we test it real quick, I just want to show it off. So this is TYCO's Piggyback loader and unloader accessory. One of my personal favorite TYCO accessories, definitely within the top 5. Right up there with the Freight Unloading Depot, the operating ore car, the unloading box car. Yeah, those are some of my favorites, and this is up there with the top 5. But yeah, this one's missing parts. As you can see, the tracks on this side are gone, but I was able to find another one for parts, and that's fine. Looks like there's some sort of paint on this, and I knew that when I bought it, but that's cool because I want to go ahead and paint this and totally customize it my way and make it look super cool for the Ephrata Valley Railroad. So basically, the way this thing works is it's an AC powered accessory. This is the control box here. We got the up and the down, which is supposedly not working for the forks. And then we got the in and the out to control the forklift's movements so it can go in and out. Inside this building, there's a motor and probably some other electronics. And then when you come underneath here, here is the very simple mechanism. The motor's right here. You can see the mounting tabs right there. This is the main gear that's attached to the motor shaft. It connects to this axle here. It connects up to this gear on this axle. That's got another gear on the end of it here that interlocks with this gear that connects to this little plastic arm. All of this, by the way, this mechanism is pretty much exactly the same as the TYCO Freight Unloading Depot, which I find pretty cool. And this right here is pressure fit onto the end of that little shaft right there. That's important because if it's not, holding anymore, then your tractor or your forklift, it's not going to move anywhere. So that's pressure fit on the end of that axle. And we got these two clips right here, and this basically just holds this little metal arm in place so you can drive so that the forklift drives forward and drives back. Now, as far as all our wiring connections go, we're all good under here, including these 2 soldered wire connections that lead up inside the forklift, which I have no idea what it looks like inside of there, but I have a feeling we're probably going to get to it. So nothing's wrong with the wiring, nothing's wrong with the gears. Luckily, nothing is seized up. That is fantastic. Yeah, we shall see how this thing works. So let me go ahead and connect it up to some power from my power pack here with my alligator clips. All right, let's see what we got. Oop. Well, we got something. Huh. That's promising. It said the forks didn't work, but they are. Huh. There we go. Okay. But the in and the out's actually not working. Huh. Okay. At least the forks are actually going up and down. That is awesome. That is awesome. So I can already tell right away by that squeaking, obviously it's going to need some lubricant, so I don't want to be playing around with it too much. Let's dive right in and see what we got to do. Alright, first time working on one of these. I believe this building just pops right off. Come on. There we go. That just pops right off. Cool. And there's our motor. Huh. It's kind of a sealed unit, so there's not really much we can do there, but we can go ahead and, I don't like how loose that is. Well, let me go ahead and put a little bit of oil down on top of this motor bearing. We're just going to go ahead and put oil on everything here because these gears are super clean. If they weren't clean, then I'd be going over this with rubbing alcohol and taking it completely apart. But I don't think that's necessary in this case because this thing is very clean. It's just dry. Luckily, nothing's seized up, so I'm just going to put oil on all the moving parts so that everything can work like it's supposed to. But put some oil down right up here on this bearing. I think that's what's making all the noise. There we go. There we go. But what I don't like is, see how this is rocking back here? This plastic piece? That plastic piece should not be moving at all because that's connected to a shaft with a gear on it that's pressure fit that's being run by this gear. You know, basically that's how the mechanism works right here. So that, you know, this gear is driving this gear, which then is driving this arm, which this arm is pressure fit. And luckily, that's holding like it's supposed to. This piece right here, this is not supposed to move. What I think might be part of the problem is probably this needs to be lubricated right here on that spot. So let's see what we get now. Nah, it's still moving like it's not. It's still moving like it's not supposed to. That should not be moving like that. And I think the problem is, whatever glue or whatever used to be here is not holding anymore. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean this area up and then go ahead and seat this back in its spot and glue it down. That won't take long to set up, but while it's setting up, I want to figure out how to get this forklift off of the base so we can see exactly what's going on inside this forklift, you know, what the mechanism looks like, and lube it up as well. Looks like this arm, all it's doing is driving the forklift forward, but it's not holding it in place. The only way the forklift is being held in place is by this clip here, this plastic clip that pushes down into the track on the base. So what I want to do is see if I can't do it by hand, because I don't want to break this. There we go. That's it. And I'll use my small flathead screwdriver to pop it on the other side here. Nah, it still wants to be a problem? Okay, then I'm gonna very carefully, there we go. That's it. That's what I wanted to do. Perfect. Alright, so we only have so much wire to work with, but I have a feeling that that'll be fine. So basically, you just pry this up with a small flathead screwdriver, and then the whole forklift opens up for you. So, I want to do this carefully, but it looks like it should just split right open. I hope. Let's see. I don't want to break anything, obviously. Let me get up inside here and see if I can't pry a little bit more. Let me try something else here. Let me try this. I have a feeling this plastic might just be stuck together. I'm going to try to score it just a little bit. I hope that helped. There we go. We got it. Wow, look at that. That's a lot more complicated than I was expecting. Huh. That's cool. Real small motor inside of here that drives these gears. Interesting. Okay, well, I'm just going to give it just a little bit of oil because that should be all that it needs. This should be the main part of it right there. Get just a little bit of oil right back in there. And we'll put some oil on these gears. Just a little bit should be fine. I mean, usually on plastic gears for a model train, I'd go ahead and use Labelle 106 grease. But since this is an accessory, it's not going to be getting used as often as a train. I don't see why I can't just use a little bit of Labelle oil. This should be fine. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Ah. Wow, okay, yeah, you could have just did that, Rob. That's, yeah, okay. Ah, there we go. There's the back of the shaft. That's what I was hoping for. There's the back of the motor shaft. I just want to put a little bit of oil on there. That should really make things quiet. There we go. Sweet. Cool. I'm happy with that. All right. And everything is clean, so that's awesome. Just put oil in all the right places. Now this has 2 tracks inside of here. This just slides right back on them, like so. And then it just sits in there. When or if you take this apart and you pop it out like I did, don't just put that back in there and forget to make sure it snaps back into place like I just did, because if you do, then things aren't going to line up like they're supposed to. After, well, I only took it apart twice. That's not bad. For first time ever working on one of these. Could be worse. I want to get that wire down inside there, and we should be able to just, there we go, snap it back together. So up, there we go, down, good, up. Everything lubricated. We can go ahead and snap this back on, but I want to make sure that it snaps into the arm, that the pin goes into the arm there first, and then this should just snap right into place. Oh yeah, and I need to get another track for the other side. That was already a known thing, but I go ahead and snap that side back on. Test it again. I'm the one that caused that to get messed up, but I fixed it. So either way, this is what this should look like when it's flipped upside down. You can see how that gear is there, where you have the smooth side of the gear, and then the teeth that begin, they're going to interlock with that gear to drive the orange plastic arm, to drive the metal arm, to drive the forklift forward. Okay? And so, when all that is said and done, we flip this over like it's supposed to, and let's test everything out. Come out. Come out all the way. Lift up the forklift. There we go, and our up-down works. Sounds amazing. Alright, let's leave it in the up position. That's cool. Now, in. There we go. So, what happened is, I think for me, taking the tractor apart after probably obviously never having been taken apart in probably 40-some years plus, because these accessories are pretty old. The plastic was separated, and you can kind of see that here. Like, it wasn't separated like this before, but obviously from snapping it and then snapping it back together, even though all the clips are back where they should be and it's snapped in, there was just enough of a space to cause the forklift to get jammed up on the track that it rides on. So then it was causing the actual arm to not want to push it forward. Now, that's not why this mechanism got a little messed up. That was my fault from taking everything, from taking it apart. So just obviously, you got to be careful with working on these. This was my first time working on it, so I'm learning. But what I learned about this is that as this clip rides in the track, if you have an issue when you take this apart, like me, you put it back together the right way, you fix it, but then it still don't want to move, just get a small file, and you can file down the plastic edges where the forklift rides inside the track. Just file that down on the actual tractor, and that'll allow it to move freely. As you can see, it should be loosely moving because this mechanism is not powerful. It's just enough to drive the little forklift forward here. It's just meant to do that. It's not meant to do anything else. And it works. Works perfectly now. So in case anyone runs into that issue, there's a fix for it. Alright, it's been a little bit since I first worked on it, but here it is on my layout in the town of Industryville, which is undergoing some major renovations right now. The borough that's connected to the town of Ephrata on my layout, the Ephrata Valley Railroad. Even this scene is still under construction, but I did a lot more work. I painted the whole base a nice light gray to make it look a lot cooler. I painted the part of the base that the track slides into black so that when I ballasted over here in this scene, it would basically make that part of the track disappear. I'm a lot happier with that. And I painted the building a nice color too, nice different colors to make it look a lot cooler. But here is the TYCO Piggyback loader and unloader in action on my layout.